Now, in this book, Dr. Peter Attia talks about what he calls the four horsemen. And many of us have actually heard about these things in one way or another. In fact, many people in your own circles, family, friends, have probably died from one of these four horsemen. I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to share this incredible book that I read called Outlive. I think everyone should own a copy of this book because it is the real deal. It's called Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Dr. Peter Attia. When I say this book is on point, man, this book is on point. It has helped me in my own coaching, in my own business, but in my own health. And I've been able to help a lot of clients as well. And I specialize in training men who are executive entrepreneurs, business owners. Average age is in their 40s. And my goal is to help my clients live longer by the things we do inside the gym, how we train them, looking at what I call deep health, every area of their life that will help them live long, but also live well. And this book hits a lot of these things right on the head. And I want to talk about that today. Now, in this book, Dr. Peter Attia talks about what he calls the four horsemen. And many of us have actually heard about these things in one way or another. In fact, many people in your own circles, family, friends, have probably died from one of these four horsemen. The first one is cancer. We've heard of somebody dying from cancer, right? It's a big deal. And in today's day and age, more people are dying from cancer than ever before. And that's a problem, right? It's a big problem. And I hate that people are dying from cancer, especially so young. And so him going into detail about how we can prevent cancer to some degree is crucial. And so I think that was spot on, cancer. The second one, he goes, I'm just gonna call it horsemen. The second one is metabolic disease. And metabolic disease is really just when we look at your A1C, a 3-month average of your blood glucose. When we look at your triglycerides, when we look at your lipid biomarkers, those are the things that really will define how metabolically healthy you are. And so it's very important to look at those. And obviously today we live in a day and age where pretty much 50% of the population, the US population, is diabetic. And maybe it's a higher probably number than that. And there's a lot of people that are pre-diabetic. So obviously it's a big deal, metabolic disease. That third one is neurodegenerative disease. Neurodegenerative disease. And that's things like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson. It's one of those, right? So it's a serious deal because we know of someone who's died from that, right? It's really what happens to the mind and then the other stuff that comes along with it that really kills that person. All right, the last one is heart disease. And this is the one that really hit me when I found out about my heart and some things that I needed to know early on. I'm glad I did, because now I'm able to put things in place early for me to have a game plan and a map to protecting my heart health, my cardiovascular health for the long term. So I'm grateful for Dr. Peter Attia because he was really a big proponent of me just taking upon myself, taking ownership of my own health and going and finding these things out on my own. So these are the four horsemen, right? And one of the things Dr. Peter Attia talks about is that, especially with heart disease, right? The number one killer in the world, not just here in the US, is heart disease. Why? Why is it the number one killer in the world? Well, there's something called ASCVD, atherosclerosis cardiovascular disease. And one of the things he says is that everyone will die from heart disease. Some will die with it, or some will die from it. And I just thought that, man, that hit home for me, right? And this is important because this atherosclerosis, ASCVD, starts the minute you're born. And that just means that there's plaque buildup in your arteries. And this is eventually what leads to a heart attack, right? And we know people who died from heart attack. Sometimes it's not even that they had plaque in arteries, maybe just had some other issues going on. And so obviously that's something that that you would want to get checked early if you can, right? Family history is important, knowing these things. But when heart disease is the number one killer, and it seems like we have the most information, the most preventative care strategies to at least help with this area, right? So we can do things for this area, right? This one is just the one neurodegenerative. We're still behind on it. We're still trying to get things to help, medicine out there to help with this. And so obviously this is, I think one day we'll hopefully get there. Metabolic disease, we can, with our food, we can change this, I believe. And then cancer is one of those where we don't have a lot of control over what happens with cancer, but we can prevent, we can do some preventable things early on. I know this first and foremost is that I know at least everyone that I've known has died in my circle or friends of friends. They've died from one of these. And so I know it's important. So Outlive is just an incredible book, man, that I really, really can't stress enough for you. And I just want to mention this one here. I want to stay on this one real quick because especially in the Black and brown community, many people don't know this. But when you're going to get your lipid test, right, you get just a basic comprehensive blood panel. You get your lipids, which is your cholesterol, it's your triglycerides, it's your LDL, HDL, and then sometimes your VLDL, right? And what they call HDL is like the good cholesterol, LDL is like the bad cholesterol. There's two tests that should be tested for, but they're not. And these are more like an advanced test. And these two tests, I just want to give you today. And I'm hoping that you guys would actually go and do those tests, okay? ApoB and LP(a). These two tests, you can go to Quest Labs or any local lab area, business near you, and you can check for these here. And if these levels are high, then you want to definitely go to your local cardiologist, lipidologist, someone that can help you with this, because these are very, very important blood markers that tell a lot of information about someone's future risk of a heart attack or heart disease. Now, this is just one part of the puzzle, but these two levels, when I found out about this for my own health, this was a game changer, knowing that my levels were high and I need to do something about it. Now, I look healthy on the outside. I'm pretty fit, I would say. I'm in this industry of fitness and I love exercise and training, but this is an area that I didn't have any idea about. Dr. Peter Tia helped me find that out through my own research as well. And I would say one little caveat here is when you're going and get your physical, men, specifically, I'm talking to the men here, when you're going to get a physical, right? Men don't like going to get physicals, first and foremost. And my dad is a living testament of that. Someone who didn't go and get a physical and was dealing with metabolic disease, diabetes led to other issues, and he has now dementia, and that led to other issues. And he's fairly young, and now he has all these health issues because he did not go to the doctor early on. He didn't choose to do preventative care, and obviously they didn't have a lot of the technology that we have today. And so unfortunately he's dealing with what he's dealing with. But I just want to be able to help anyone out there, especially my men out there. Men, please go get checked early. Go and do preventative care and hire a doctor who really, really believes in in the natural ways first, and trying to exhaust all natural ways through nutrition, through sleep, through exercise, through mental health, getting all these things in check first before they give you just medicine. Because unfortunately that's what the medical industry is taught. It's just sometimes it's to give medicine first. And I believe, I'm a little biased because I'm in the fitness industry, and that's what I believe. I want to help people get fitter, healthier, and I want them to know about these things, especially my men out there. So men, if you go and get your physical, and I recommend getting a physical once a year. If you're over 40, maybe getting your blood work twice a year. Okay, so you can know your levels. This is just for you, but it's important to know your levels. It's a test called the CAC test, coronary calcium scoring test. Now this test here is just going to test for if there's any plaque in your arteries. It's a MRI, I believe. A heart. You get a heart scan, a picture of your heart, and it'll tell you if you have any early onset of plaque buildup in your arteries. Very important, because what I said before, ASCVD starts the minute you're born, and you could actually have already plaque in your arteries at a young age. And I believe that's what happened with me, right? And so if you have that, think about when you're 20, 30, 40 years old, people are dropping dead, not knowing that they probably had a little bit of plaque buildup already earlier on in your life. Maybe your genetics. For me, it was more, I believe it's more genetics. I'm not quite sure, but there was already some showing of that in my arteries. So we had to take care of that. And I think with my current doctor and the things we're doing now, I think we're hopefully moving in the right direction. And you obviously can't prevent death, right? But you can do things to at least extend your life as much as possible, and do it in a way where you can live well. Right? You don't just want to live long, you want to live well. And that's what lifespan is. That's what health span is. And this is what they talks about in this book, Outlive. And I think, especially for my men out there, I think if you got a copy of this, listen to an audio, bought the book, kept it at home, it's kind of like a little dictionary. You can go back to it, you can go back to it and learn more things about your own health. And I promise you, you will not regret buying this book. And also listening to Dr. Peter T on YouTube or his podcast, because you'll learn a lot. And I'm just so grateful for him. And I want to give a shout out, Dr. Peter T. Thank you so much for helping me. I hope to one day be able to meet you, because you really have helped me learn things about myself as a fitness professional that I wouldn't have otherwise learned. And so thank you to you. Thank you to Gary Brecker as well, 10X Health. A lot of these people, man, they're like tied into the same network, and they've helped me learn more about my health, man. It's not just about lifting weights. It's not just about going and doing cardio and exercise. It's more about that. And one of the things we preach here at Transform Athlete is making you healthier from the inside out. So blood work doesn't lie. Blood work tells us what's happening inside of us. It gives us a profile on you. And if you don't know these things, if you're guessing, you're just taking care of the outside but not the inside, eventually something is going to break. And I don't want that to happen for you. So hopefully you can go and invest in this book called Outlive, and you can learn more about these 4 horsemen that at least most of us die from, unfortunately. So let's prevent these things from happening as much as possible, and let's go support good doctors like this, because Dr. Peter T, man, there needs to be more doctors like this worldwide, especially here in the U.S., especially here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm grateful that I have a doctor who kind of believes in this methodology as well. And so I'm grateful to work in the network with those types of people, because now I can help my clients achieve their best version of themselves. And so hopefully this video was helpful for you, and hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, comment, DM me if it's on Instagram. You could also send me a comment here on this video if it's YouTube, or you can send me an email. You go to my website, transformathlete.com, and yeah, hope to get to know you better And for men out there, man, please do not wait to invest in your health. Invest in your health now. Okay, I don't care how old you are. It's never too late. You can start now. You can't start over, but you can start again. So let's go. And I'll see you guys on the other side. See you in the next video. God bless. Let's get 1% better. Take care.